Hello there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Okay, so two things for you in this episode. This is going to be my Halloween vlog part 2, but also I've got a category 1 video nasty to show you that I received from the US. So if you want to see what that is, hang around to the end. Anyway, so what have I watched this past week and a little bit, because I'm a little bit late with this video. The reason I was late was because I had both my flu and COVID jab on Saturday, and it kind of knocked me out for Sunday, so I couldn't do the video. Anyway, I'm doing it now, and hopefully you'll see it tonight, Wednesday. I was supposed to start the week watching a 4K from Shout Factory, and I did start watching it, and I got 22 minutes in and it crashed. And that was the remake of Carrie. Now I have it on Blu-ray. There's a Blu-ray in here, but I also have it on Blu-ray anyway. I have tried to contact Shout Factory, not the easiest to get hold of, just to see if I can get a replacement disc. It's definitely not my player, because I've subsequently watched two 4Ks in that player and they worked fine, so didn't quite get through that. It was looking okay to start with, and I quite liked the special effects that I saw. Anyway, next film. So I needed to watch something all the way through, didn't I, that night? So what I watched was a DVD of a film called Mulberry Street. Now this is out of my After Dark video DVD box set, and so it's one of the 8 films that comes in it. This is kind of a zombie film with a little bit of a difference. It's set in New York, in Mulberry Street in New York, and yeah, what happens? There's rats basically, and they start biting people, and a bit of a pandemic or epidemic, whatever you want to call it, breaks out, and yes, people start turning into zombies. Pretty good film, pretty good film. Then the following night, to catch up for the fact that I went to my film club on the Tuesday, I watched 2 films. The first film I watched was another one from the After Dark DVD box set, and that was Crazy Eights. This is about 8 people or 7 people, they get a notification to go to the the reading of a will from a friend of theirs that's passed away, and the friend says in the letter there's a box that he wants them to go through. One of them's a bit sort of, oh yeah, I don't want to go through this junk, who wants it? One of them starts picking out photos and everything, and they start showing them they're dressed in sort of baseball gear, and they're named the Crazy Eights, and it's like, well, you need 11 people or 9 people or whatever it is to do a baseball team. Yeah, I think it's 9. Anyway, they have to go and find another box which is in a barn somewhere. Once they open it, things start to go really kind of wrong. But they end up back at this old kind of hospital type thing, and things really start to go wrong for them there. But I was quite impressed with it. I actually really like this. There is a Blu-ray version. I think it's teamed up with another film. I forget what it is, but hopefully I can get the Blu-ray, because I really like this one. That's Crazy Eights. So the second film, or actually the first film I watched that night, that was the sort of the headline act. But the first film I watched was Deadly Games. This is the Arrow release with slipcover, and it was okay. It was nothing amazing, to the fact that even the picture on the front isn't really reminding what was in it. So yes, it wasn't really a horror, more of a thriller maybe. So that's Deadly Games. Then I decided to replace one of the films I was going to watch with something else, because I was going to watch Doctor Sleep for the first time, but it was a bit too long by the time I got around to it. So I wanted a shorter film, and I decided to finish off that Amityville box set that I've showed you before. So this was the last film, the 4th film in the box set, Amityville Dollhouse. not a bad film, actually. Definitely, I'd say the second best film out of the four. First one being the worst, then the second one being a little bit better, but the third one being the best, and this one being the next best sort of. So yes, that's the one I think that was the best, Amityville Generation. So excuse me, burping away here. Yes, Amityville Dollhouse. It's quite self-explanatory really, but a little girl gets it for her birthday. Well, I had a phone call. Yes, I'm back. Anyway, never mind. Right, so that was Amityville Dollhouse. Yes, I was going on to say that a girl gets it for her birthday, and pretty bad things start to happen. So, right, well, the next film I watched is actually a Canadian film. This is part of the 88 Film Slasher Collection, and it was Funeral Home. Now, I actually took 3 attempts to watch this. I got an hour in and I started to fall asleep. I realised this and I wound it back and started to watch it again, and I fell asleep again. I got to the end and I put on the bonus item, which was the interview with the lead actress, and they started showing clips of the film. I was like, I didn't see those. That's quite an important part of the film. Oh, didn't realise that person died like that. So I then managed to watch the last half hour again and get through without falling asleep. So there's more kills in it than I thought. It's actually a really nice film. What I mean is the picture is really, really nice. It's got a really, really natural look to it. A really good filmic look. You could almost mistaken this for a 4K, it's that good. And yeah, I was quite impressed with it. It was nice to see something a little different. And what I find is we're so used to watching American films and they have a certain look and done a certain way. And it wasn't really until I got to the credits and actually a few times certain things were said in the film and I thought, that sounds like a Canadian accent. And yes, I was right. So yes, good to watch another Canadian horror film. Not quite as horrific as you might expect, but actually really well acted, I have to say. And the sets, you won't believe they're sets. Let's put it this way. I'll let you watch the film and you try and work out what's a set and what isn't. I was really impressed. I only found that out in the bonus stuff, that interview. So yes, they fooled me. So that is Funeral Home. Okay, so I had another, not a replacement film, but a film I decided to shoehorn in because I received it on 4K, as I'm sure most of you have. And I thought, well, I've got to watch it, haven't I? And it was 4K of Nightmare on Elm Street. And what a fantastic looking 4K this is. I was really, really impressed with the picture. Just a boring, not boring, but you know, got the nice slip because I don't need the big box set or anything. I'm hoping that we get a box set of all of them, and but for now I'm happy with just this with a nice slip cover. Yes, the picture was absolutely exceptional, very, very clean. Not DNR'd to anything because all the freckles and the detail was still in the faces, so if it was DNR'd they would have disappeared. But no, very, very clean film, almost too good. Kind of forget that it's a horror film, it looked that good. But no, it was really nice to see it on the big screen in 4K, and Warner Brothers has done a brilliant job. So yes, what version did you get? Okay, so I've been, like I said, this is the only film, this is the exception, the only film I've seen before, because obviously all these films are meant to be ones I haven't seen before. Now this film I definitely hadn't seen before. This is released by Vinegar Syndrome, and it is Flesh Eaters. Now, I thought to myself, I recognise this guy, and there's a reason for that. It's because he plays the ghoul in the cemetery for Night of the Living Dead. But he's also the director and the main star, and does lots of other aspects of the film as well. So yes, Bill Hinzman. It's not a bad film. I think some of the editing let it down. The acting I thought was there, but some of the editing and just the cuts left the camera on the actors a bit too long. Maybe they needed a bit more of a run time, but they didn't have the time to shoot any more scenes or anything. And if they were going to edit it sort of really tightly and nicely, that it would have been too short. But hey, might have made for a much better film. So yes, I think that's the original cover. And actually, this scene is in the film, and I was waiting for this scene to see how they did it. And it was quite clever. It was kind of a jump cut. Yes, it was still impressive. So if you want a pretty cool zombie film, as you can see, it's also called Revenge of the Living Dead. Then this is a pretty good 4K. The picture was nice, the colours were nice, and all that kind of stuff. So something different than the mainstream zombie films. Right, so the last film I watched so far, so sort of halfway through 31 Days of Halloween, is actually a giallo rather than a horror film. But I thought I'd watch it anyway, seeing as I have it in the collection. And it is Knife of Ice. Now, most of the reason I got this was because it has part one of an Umberto Lenzi interview in the bonus material. And I haven't watched it yet, but I did start to, but I'd run out of time. So I thought, well, I won't watch it now. But the film itself, it wasn't really interesting me that much. There is a big twist in it, and but I'd been sort of fed up by some of the characters and some of the tropes in it. By the time we got to the twist, it didn't actually lift me and think, oh, that was a good film. Sometimes I watch a film and I'm like, oh, this is boring, and it gets to the twist at the end and it's like, oh, now it all makes sense. Yes, it's actually a brilliant film. This one didn't do that. So once I've watched that documentary footage, so I can watch the second one on there, then I shall pass this on. It's just a Blu-ray, but it's a very, very nice Blu-ray. 88 have done an exceptional job on it if they've done the restoration. And it's only a 2K transfer as well. So if it looks that good from a 2K transfer, imagine what it would look like if they ever did a 4K. But let me know if you've seen this and what you think of it. I kind of like the premise. It was just the characters annoyed me, and that's not good. So anyway, yes, the Video Nasty. I already had it in my collection, but it was a cut version. And but now I have, I think it's a Ronin Flix exclusive slipcover version, because it's actually released by Code Red, and it is Slave of the Cannibal God, starring Ursula Andress. There's the original cover, and this is the Ronin Flix slipcover. Show you the back from a distance. Things are covered up, so it's all right. But the one I'm replacing is this Shameless version here, and this comes with a a map kind of thing, a game sort of whatever it is, and also the sensor sticker that's supposed to go on the front cover. I kept it all together, but it's not a numbered edition, but this is obviously a first pressing because I don't think it would have the poster in otherwise. So I shall be passing this one on. and keeping this one. This is 103 minutes and this one is 101 minutes. So yeah, a couple of minutes extra footage. It'd be interesting to see what's different. So that's my section 1 video nasty that I've now added to the collection. I have all 39 films and I think I've got them all uncut. But anyway, so yes, give us a thumbs up if you like that video. Let me know what you've been watching for 31 Days of Halloween, if you've been doing it. If you're not doing 31 Days of Halloween, what horror films have you been watching? That would be cool to see. Have you been to see the new Terrifier film? I understand it's doing very, very well. Been currently #1 in the box office, doing something like $18 million on its first weekend. That's really impressive. I like that we've got a new horror icon to watch and admire, and currently the 4th outing, even though it's like the 3rd Terrifier film, with Art the Clown appearing in All Hallows Eve, the first film I watched in my list. Kind of makes it the 4th outing, doesn't it? But let's see what they come up with next. I'm not going to watch it until December because it's a Christmas film. People might think that's weird, but hey, I don't like watching things out of season. Anyway, I'm waffling. So give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.